Okay, our next step after drawing the circle, take a look at the answer key again. We've drawn the large circle on the outside. Now we're going to go ahead and draw these lines that are coming down. So we'll go ahead and select the line tool, which once again is we're all working inside the vector tool area. Here's the line tool. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I'm going to change the line from a tip size of 1 to make it 2. It's going to give me a little thicker line so it'll be easier to see and won't get mixed up with the grid lines. Now, even that shift key trick even works when you're drawing a straight line. If you don't hold down the shift key, you can start to draw, and look what's happening to me. My line's getting crooked, and so then you have to bring it back. If you hold down the shift key while you draw, it forces your line to stay straight. And I'm going to draw that line to just go about halfway out from here down to here. Now at this point you could start drawing the other lines and trying to get them all to match up perfectly, but you'd never make it. It wouldn't look quite right. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to clone this line by going up to Edit, Clone. It makes a second line. Now the clones are identical, so you can't even tell that a second line was made unless you're paying attention over here to your layers, and you can see that now I have 2 of these lines and they're just right on top of each other. If I chose duplicate instead of clone, it would have made a second copy, would have been offset. By cloning it, it keeps it right over top of the original. And now I can simply rotate that line 45 degrees, modify, transform, numeric transform. And you have several choices: scale, resize, or I want to choose a rotate. And I want to rotate it 45 degrees. And now you can see it's boom, moved over here. Now I'm going to repeat that same process several more times. Go to Edit, Clone, Modify, Transform, Numeric, Rotate. Same thing. Okay, I've got my lines all done. The next step is I'm going to draw the inner circle. So I'm going to click on my circle again, make my line, my edge or my stroke back to 1, and keep my fill as invisible. I'm going to zoom up a little bit. It's starting to get a little bit hard to see, so I'm going to go up to 200%. Once again, the trick is to hold down the Alt key, ALT key, and the Shift key, and that will cause the circle to draw from the inside out. And the Shift key will make it stay a perfect circle. And there we go. Now I'm going to turn off my grid lines. I don't really need them anymore. Kind of getting in the way. So View Grid, turn off grid, and I'll also turn off the guides. Now it's starting to look a little better. The next step is we need to add some. We need to cut out these lines here that are in between, that are in the middle. I'll show you the answer again. I see the answer, our line just comes to here and then it's erased from here to here. Now your first instinct might be to use the eraser, but you'll notice the eraser is inside the bitmap area, and if you try to erase it, it just ignores you. Can't not do it. Instead what you have to do is use the knife tool. So I'm going to click back over here. Now before you cut something, the trick is you always have to select what it is that you want to cut. So I want to cut this line right here, so I select it. You can see it turns blue. Now I come over to the knife tool, and it doesn't matter where you start or end your cut. All that matters is where it passes through the object that you selected. So if I want to make a cut right here, I'm going to start my cut here. It doesn't really matter where. I just click on my mouse, hold it. But I want to make sure when I get right through that point, I get it in the area where I want to cut. And I'm trying to cut it basically on the tangent of that circle, which is right there. So I made a cut, and now you can see I have a small segment. I'm going to go down here and cut it here as well. Now I have to go back over to my black arrow. Now since I made that last cut, notice my layers. Both of those things are selected right now. The little segment and the big segment in the middle. I'm going to click away from them to deselect them, come back over here and just select the part in the middle, and then hit delete on my keyboard, and I delete it. Now I'm going to repeat that 3 more times. click on this line, get the knife, make a cut here, make a cut here, click away, click here, delete it. I notice this line has got a thickness of 1 instead of 2. Change that. Okay, and I'm back to cutting. Get out my knife, cut it here, cut it here, black arrow, select, get rid of it. My knife. Okay, looking good. Let's go ahead and pause here for a moment.